If you're flat hunting right now, viewings can be one of the most stressful parts of the process. You end up running across the city last minute, agents pressure you to take multi-places, and the good flats are gone before you even get a chance to apply. It's tough, especially in London. That's why I'm going to share my best tips to handle viewings like a pro, so you can find your dream place without the stress. I'll show you how to book viewings effectively, how to really assess a flat, and I'll reveal 3 sneaky ways agents push prices up so you can avoid those traps. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, how do you actually contact agents to book a viewing? When a listing goes live, you want to be one of the first people to message the agent. Speed is everything. It's pretty simple. Usually, agents have a diary with a bunch of slots for viewings. Once they are filled, they stop booking. They'll only add more slots if no one from the first wave applies, or if none of the applicants are successful. They will, however, leave the listing up anyway because it keeps generating leads and it makes their life easier. So if you want to actually see the place, you need to act fast, be in that first wave. Being among the first ones to contact the agent each time is challenging, but it's not impossible, even if you have a full-time job and a life. I won't go into how to manage that right now, because it's a whole other video, but I'll link it below if you want to watch it. So anyway, once you see a listing you like, don't wait. Click on the Contact Agent button on the listing. You will also notice the Call Agent button, so let's talk about that for a second. Giving the agent a call can work, of course, but messaging is just as good, if not better. When you send a message, there is a record of it. It's just there in their inbox. It's easy for them to go back and find your inquiry. If you call, you might talk to the intern, and if I were you, I wouldn't rely on their note-taking ability to ensure I get to see my dream apartment. So even if you do call, send the message too. It can't hurt. Now, what do you actually say in the message? Keep it short, you usually don't get much space anyway. Just be clear and professional. No need to write your life story. If you're not sure what to say, I've got some message templates in my free flat hunting guide. The link is below. Alright, once you've contacted agents, there is one more step that you need to do if you want to have the best viewing day possible. You have to keep track. I know it sounds boring, but it is essential. Make a little table and write down the key details. Address, price, the name of the agent, that kind of stuff. It's going to make your life so much easier when it comes to scheduling the viewings. Trust me, organization is key. Once you've contacted a few agents, you're going to start getting replies. Some will say that the flat is no longer available, that always happens, but some will ask when you're free to come and see it. This is where you need a bit of strategy. The best way to do it is to plan a viewing day. If you can, book a day of work, and if you can't, use a Saturday. That way you can stack all your viewings together and really make the most of your time. You want to schedule a viewing every 30 minutes or as close to that as you can, and group them by area. The idea is that you want to spend 15 minutes at the viewing and then 15 minutes traveling to the next one. So if you're looking in 2 different neighborhoods, do neighborhood A in the morning and then move to neighborhood B in the afternoon. That way you're not spending half your day on the tube. You save time, you save money, and you stay sane. It also makes it a lot easier to compare the flats that you're viewing. Seeing 3 or 4 places back to back means that you can actually remember what you saw. It's fresh in your head and you start noticing what feels good and what doesn't, what your priorities actually are. And honestly, spending a bit of time walking around the area in between viewings helps too. You'll get a much better feel for the vibe of the neighborhood. For example, a few years ago, I had several viewings in one evening, all within a 5-minute walk of each other. 2 of them were listed at the exact same price, but one of them was much bigger, had better amenities, and was on a quieter street. Seeing them one after the other made it a total no-brainer and really helped me spot an amazing deal. That's the power of planning a proper viewing day. Yes, it's a bit intense, but honestly, I love it. Alright, so you've got your viewing day planned. You've got your schedule, your neighborhoods, and your list of flats. Now, let's talk about how to actually make the most of it, because this day is going to be busy. And you want to walk away with all the info you need to make the right decision. First of all, wear comfortable shoes and bring snacks. I'm not even joking. But okay, now on to more serious stuff. When you're inside the flat, take a walkthrough video. It helps so much later. Because even if you think you'll remember everything, trust me, you won't. Especially after seeing 5 or 6 places in one day. And a video can remind you of things that are hard to capture in pictures. Like how noisy the street sounds when you open the window, or how big the corridor really is. All these little details matter. Next, have a checklist. You want to test things. Open the tabs to check the water pressure, open and close the windows, switch on the lights. I know you might feel a bit uncomfortable to do that around the agent, but it doesn't need to be weird. You are allowed to assess the place properly. Also, some agents actually take advantage of this lack of confidence from applicants. They will count on the fact that you don't check things to actually hide issues. So don't feel guilty, just go through your list casually. If you want a full checklist, it's in my free flat hunting guide, the link is below. And finally, questions. Please ask the agent questions, even if some of them feel obvious. For example, ask them to confirm what the rent is. Yes, even if it's written on the listing. Because sometimes that's when they reveal, oh, it's actually £200 more if you want parking. Or the landlord is looking for offers above asking. So you'd better double check everything. And don't try to remember all their answers on the spot. Write them down. Or just keep recording on your phone while they talk so you can take notes later. And if you can, bring someone with you. If you're moving in with someone, bring that person. And if it's not possible, bring a friend. It's just good to have another pair of eyes. Sometimes they'll notice something that you didn't, or they just confirm that your gut feeling was right. Now, as promised, I want to share 3 common tricks that agents use to drive prices up. Some of them are subtle, and some of them are not so subtle. But once you know what to look for, you won't get caught off guard. Let's start with something that everybody talks about, bidding wars. It usually happens during the viewing because they don't want a written record of it. Well, I don't know if that's true, but that's my guess. So you go to a viewing, you like the place, then the agent says something like, we're already getting offers above asking. Or what is on the listing is a guide price, but the landlord is expecting more. And just like that, you feel like you need to go higher, offer more than what's listed just so you get a chance. Personally, I would not enter a bidding war. I think it's despicable. And I think landlords should list their property at what they think is fair and stop there. Not try to squeeze as much money as they can from people that are desperate for a home. But I know that sometimes, depending on your situation, you might not have a choice. So here's what I recommend. Don't look desperate, even if you are. Be a bit vague about your moving date. Say you're ready to move when needed, but don't act like you're in a rush. It gives you more power. And even if they tell you about higher offers, you can still apply at the advertised rent. This higher offer thing could have been a lie and you can still get the place. Or the higher offer might be for an applicant who is in a more unstable situation, like in between jobs. And the landlord might prefer someone more stable like you, even if it means a lower rent. The next trick is when agents will try to push the price up in a more subtle way. They won't say you need to offer more, but they say things like, there's been a lot of interest, we've already had a few people view it today, or even, we've received several offers, or the flat will be gone by tonight. You get the idea. They want you to feel the heat, to think the flat is going to disappear any second. And honestly, I kind of get it. No agent is going to say, we've been struggling to rent this one for weeks. Of course not. They don't want you to run away. But this kind of added urgency just creates more stress. And flat hunting is already intense enough. So take those comments with a grain of salt. Don't act fast just because you feel rushed. You need to be sure about your choice. The third trick happens before you even get to the viewing stage. You see a flat online, it looks great, the prices may be a bit lower than you'd expect, the photos are amazing. It doesn't look too good to be true either, but it definitely catches your eye. So you call the agent and they tell you it's gone, it's already been let. But they do have something very similar in the same building, just a bit more expensive. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's a classic bait tactic. The listing was probably never available in the first place, it was just there to get you to call. Once you're on the phone, they try to sell you something else. Something a bit pricier or something not quite as nice. To be fair, sometimes it is genuine. Flats do go quickly, especially in London. But don't take every word at face value. If a listing looks just a bit too good and it's been sitting there for a while, that's a clue. So those are the main things to watch out for. If you've made it to the viewing stage, you're already doing great. Keep your eyes open and trust your gut. Because when you do find a place that feels right, you want to be ready to move fast but smart. I've got a whole video on how to actually do that the right way. What to include in your application, what to avoid, and how to stand out without entering a bidding war. Click here to watch it next.